कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा, जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी, जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी, जय जगन्नाथ। जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवा तुम्ही। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवा तुम्ही। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय राधा माधव राधे, जय राधा माधव राधे। जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा, जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा। जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव जय, प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव जय, प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव जय, प्रभुपादा 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 जय, प्रभुपादा। नित्य गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल। श्री श्री नाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे
Srila
कृष्णा।
Prabhupada ki jai. Srila
जय
Gurudev ki jai. Thank you
जय।
so much, Mataji. Wonderful. Thank you.
हरे
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, welcome back. We are so fortunate to hear from you again today. Hari Bo.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for wonderful kirtan, and it was so soothing. Before we begin our class today, we'll just chant the Keval Ashtakam, just a small prayer, and then we will commence our session. Maduram Madurebhyopi Mangalephyopi Mangalam Pavanam Pavanebhyopi Hare Namaiva Kevalam Abrahmastambha Paryantam Sarvam Maya Mayam Jagat Satyam Satyam Punah Satyam Hare Namaiva Kevalam Sadguru Sapita Chapi Samata Bandhavo Pisa Sikshaye Chet Sada Smartum Hare Namaiva Kevalam Nishvasena hi Vishvasa Kadaruto Bhavishyati Kirtaniya Mato Balyat Hare Namaiva Kevalam Hari Sada Vase Tatra Yatra Bhagavata Jana Gayanti Bhakti Bhavena Hare Namaiva Kevalam Aho Dukkam Mahadukkam Dukha Dukkataram Yataha Pachartam Vesmritam Ratna Hare Namaiva Kevalam Diyatam Karno Niyatam Vacha Diyatam Nityam Hare Namaiva Kevalam Trinigritya Jagat Sarvam Rajate Sakaloparam Chidanandamayam Shukam Hare Namaiva Kevalam Hare Namaiva Kevalam Hare Namaiva Kevalam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Sarva Sastrabdi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satphalam Sarva Siddhanta Ratnatyam Sarva Lokaika Drikpradam Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kali Dvanto Didaditya Sri Krishna Parivartita Paramananda Pataya Prema Varshakshirayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostute Madeka Bando Matsangim Madguru Manmahadanam Mannishtaraka Madbhagyam Madananda Namostute Anamuncha Kadachinmam Premna Hrittantayospuram Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. It's a pleasure to be with you all. And as it's always said, that whenever we are in the assembly of Vaishnavas, so it is a privilege for the person who is associating more than the person who is giving the association. And this Sangha had always been very accommodative to engage me and give me some chance to make an endeavor to move forward in Krishna consciousness. And also, it's a very appreciative one to be so consistent in the endeavors that you are doing to learn Srimad Bhagavatam. So, all glories to the service that you are all rendering. So, thank you so much. As I always say that I used to tell this to our Vanara Sena. We have a young team of devotees here, so we call them as Vanara Sena. So I used to always tell them that whether you understood what I said or not, it is beneficial to me. Because sometimes we think we are speaking like a pro, but we will be blabbering something. But sometimes such a blabbering, especially in an online forum, with your own face on the screen, seeing yourself and speaking, makes a lot of meaningful sense. That it is for us and for our purification. For that, there are 10, 15 devotees who are helping by being part of it and giving me an effect, saying that it is I am who are, helping them rather than actually I'm helping myself. So the topic that we are going to discuss today is very easy, but very relevant as well as important in our Krishna consciousness context. My father used to be an English teacher, English and social studies teacher. So he is known for teaching English grammar and several such things. So there is a if anybody makes a statement, suppose for example I make a statement, I want a cup of milk. This is a statement. But the meaning of this statement could be interpreted in any n number of ways, at least 8 different ways. Depends upon where the punctuation is, depends upon which word I insist and highlight in my statement. I want a cup of milk. I want a cup of milk. I want a cup of milk. So the where I give my importance, accordingly the mood, perspective, expectations, everything changes, even though the statement is same. So tapasya, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness, these 4 pillars of dharma, tapas, saucham, daya, satyam, these 4 pillars of dharma have got that effect. If they are not properly oriented, dovetailed, explained, understood, implemented, applied, then the end result will be something else. That is why we have an exclusive chapter in Bhagavad Gita where 3 modes of material nature are nicely explained. And also, Krishna explains to Arjuna about charity in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, austerity in the mode of passion, goodness, ignorance, speech in the mode of passion, goodness, ignorance, food in the mode of passion, goodness, ignorance. Why? Austerity is great, it should be great all the time. But no, it is not the austerity that counts. Oh, Ramgiridhari was only asking for a cup of milk. What is wrong? But where was his focus on? And in what tone, what modulation, what insistence the word or the statement was made? It tells several intent. So we are going to discuss tapasya from that viewpoint. Because this is not a unique word only for Krishna Bhaktas. This is not the only word for practicing devotees, sadhakas. This is not only word for Gaudiyas. Anyone who uses the word spirituality or religiosity uses this word tapasya. And incidentally, those who come from Indian cultural, religious upbringing, we have a very interesting disease, that we uses the word in different contexts in our own free way without realizing what that actual word means to us in our life. Not only tapasya, several such words, service, bhakti, several such words we try to put it in. And thanks to Srila Prabhupada, who gave clarity and clear-cut definition on classifying what is actual devotion and devotional sentiments vis-a-vis what is look like devotion but nothing to do with devotion. So we are going to have some sets of reflections on this tapasya, and because we are having a Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi, so we will also understand this context of tapasya from the perspective of us observing such vows. The story of Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi is very famous. I'm sure you are all learned and regular Bhagavatam students as well as teachers. So how much the story need to be delineated, I'm not sure, but at least let us get into the mood of tapasya. First reflection. Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Instruction. He explains in Nectar of Instruction, Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. So the point of niyamagraha, is to be explained when we bring in such devotional vows: austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, mercy, tolerance, patience, several qualities. Festivals, observing festivals. Niyamagraha is a very important word, that which we may think is going to be purifying us, or which people think that they have done something great. What if it has an adverse effect upon us? At least better we know about it. Because people will be patting on their back saying that, wow, beta, first class. You have done wonderful service, wonderful act. So we had a interesting use case on that. One parent, one of our Matajis, she conducts tuitions. India, it is very famous. Because parents believe that if the children are with books for 17 hours a day out of 24 hours, they'll become Einstein or Newton. And unfortunately, they don't know that neither Einstein nor Newton they studied properly. They flunked several times before becoming a scientist. Anyway, or maybe people want to become, whatever, multi-millionaire Ambani. I mean, it's all very crazy thing. So, leave that aside. So, these parents send their children to a tuition. And this Mataji happens to be a devotee. So, she regularly, speaks to children about Krishna consciousness subject matter. So, one day this parent had an interaction with Mataji, saying that, Mataji, because of your orientation that you have given to the children, my son has also developed very strong affinity towards spiritual topics. So, in my house, he regularly watches Mahabharata. Regularly, we are so happy. Instead of watching some nonsense cinema and stuff like that, he very regularly watches, Mahabharata. So, instantly, this Mataji want to a little probe in and see, wow, that's interesting. So, she kind of asked that boy, so my dear, boy, what do you like in Mahabharata? This boy said, I like Sakuni, the character, very much. I like so much Sakuni that I am interested in seeing and imitating and imbibing his qualities quite again and again. So sometimes we don't understand the act is not more important in comparison with the perspective behind the act. Most of the times we think that if I do an act, if I perform, I get the result. It may be correct to a partial sense, but the intention behind such a performing is very important. My son watching Mahabharata could be glorious, but him want to become a Sakuni is not glorious. Him wanting to learn to become students and followers of Pandavas would be glorious. So the point I want to drive home is, if we are performing certain vows, if we are performing certain practices, whilst the procedure involved in that practices are important, but the mood behind those practices are all the more important. We have this Mumbai very famous Ganesh Utsav, as well as Navaratri Utsav. People come here for asking donations for such a Utsav. And if you want to see those new forms of Ganapati, please visit Mumbai. We have Ganesh with cricket bat, we have Ganesh with mobile phone, we have Ganesh with, banduk in his hand, several Ganesh. And this is just humorously say that, but I don't need to hurt anyone. बेचारे उस 9 दिन गणेश कितने परेशान होते होंगे. Those 9 days, Ganesh is so quote unquote, irritated because they keep his murti, They play cinema songs. They play patta, drink, dance behind his murti. I'm not saying everyone is bad, but I'm saying in general, by and
Behind
large,
this pandal.
the whole event of Utsava, which is supposed to be devotional, if not devotional, at least religious, it has become sense gratification in the name of religiosity. So my first reflection is, as practitioners, as students of Srila Prabhupada, we need to have this much clarity that I won't do anything niyamagraha. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was so hell-bent on making this straight. Please note, our deity worship, our festivity, our celebrations, our observances of vows, none of them, they are just procedural. They are all, procedure is there, but they are all meant for transforming, and they are part of our devotional life. So Madhava Tithi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palana Kori. Madhava Tithi Ekadashi Vrata is also one such vrata. Is not for punya. We are not here doing our vows for accumulating punya, pious credits. In fact, we are against that ideology. If anyone who does Prabhuji, I attended Srimad Bhagavatam, I get a lot of punya. I give Bhagavatam charity, I get a lot of punya. I give Bhagavad Gita donation, I get a lot of punya. It is like saying, I bought an iPhone 12 or whatever that version is. It is working as a wonderful paperweight. I have an iPhone. I bought it for $2,500. I have a lot of paper. I am a government officer. मेरे paper उड़ते रहता है. So I use it as a paperweight. Oh, this iPhone is so wonderful. It is so, sturdy. Sometimes I use it to beat someone. Oh, this iPhone is so nice. I use it as a Kilona toy in our Navaratri Golu at home. And guys, please understand the purpose of this, gadget, whoever had made this, don't get into the context of iPhone, but I'm saying the purpose of certain things is beyond material, even religious phenomena. So as Bhakti Yoga practitioners, whenever we talk about this word tapasya, since we are on tapasya, the same thing is applicable on Saucham, same thing applicable on Satyam, same thing applicable on Daya, same thing applicable on any other such virtues of Krishna consciousness. There are several virtues of Krishna consciousness. We need to at least make sure we don't fall under the category of Niyamagraha. Prabhupada's, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's, Baladeva Vidyabhushan's important contribution to this Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta is to eliminate superstitiousness, to eliminate so-called bogus practices done for the sake of external reasons. Baladeva Vidyabhushana, why he had to debate with his Ramanandis? Want to establish the authentic sanctified process. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was so much against Smarta Brahmanas, Smarta Vidhi, or Sahajya ideologies, because these are all just picking up the external activities without the principles underlying them. The very famous story of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj on this context is a Brahmana was regularly performing Shaligrama Puja. In their house, they had a cat. The cat was regularly disturbing the Brahmana for performing puja. Brahmana, what he did, because he was kind, he tied the cat so that during the puja, the cat does not come and har jagah muh nahi lagai. Today, pets have become integral part of our life. that we treat our pets as much as we treat our deities. You know, that's the irony in people's life anyway. So suddenly pet ke upar daya itna aa jata hai, even people in our own houses are not taken care as much as we take care of the pets. So the Brahmana took care of the, you know, cat, tied it somewhere, performed the puja and released it. Next generation, Shiddadase, they carried the procedure of worshipping Shaligrama after the father's demise. And what was the Samagiri? What was the preparation item for taking care of the Shaligram? All, you know, doodh, dahi, everything in list. And in that list, there is a cat. So we need a cat for us to perform Shaligram puja, because before puja starts, we better tie the cat to the, you know, place, start the puja, then release the cat. So that's the perspective on which people function. So such a perspective is completely disapproved by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. So my first reflection in the context of tapasya is, let us be very clear, we will never become niyamagrahi. The definition of niyamagraha is following the rules and regulations just for the sake of following, but not understanding the purity of purpose behind it. That is why Prabhupada always encouraged, any time when you are doing anything, please learn to know the purpose behind the act and purity of purpose behind the act, even though the act may be imperfect. If they are pure, you are given a credit, but the act being perfect but impure, you get zero results or proportionately negligible result. So we are after purity, we are not after perfection. So that is why niyamagraha should be given up. So this is one principle of a tapasya that we need to understand. Second principle is, yes sir, I understand niyamagraha is not to be done. Instead of niyamagraha, what is to be done? Tat karma pravartanat. That's the very next shloka. Rupa Goswami explains, Utsaha nischaya teryat tat karma pravartanat sangatyaga sadavrite. Incidentally, Rupa Goswami keeps here also point number 4. Here also point number 4. Fourth item in the 6 items to be avoided, niyamagraha. Fourth item in the 6 items to be practiced, tat karma pravartanat, which means consistently. So my second reflection is, we don't do niyamagraha, we do tat karma pravartanat. So let me explain what is tat karma pravartanat. It has got 4 components. Number 1, consistency in the practices. Prabhuji, yahan to the glorification of Vrata explains, even if one accidentally performed, also given a credit. So which means by now we would have got a credit, so let us go and enjoy. So Bhagavad Gita very clearly explains, if you accidentally perform something, you get a credit. If you accidentally make an offense, you are forgiven. But if you are voluntarily committing a crime, you are punished. If you are voluntarily avoiding, you are punished. So the problem is for all of us who are students of Srimad Bhagavatam, after knowing the subject matter, if we purposely not doing, stating that one time I have done this, I will be given a credit, we will be punished. It is that those who know the rules, those who are in responsible positions, if they make a mistake, they are punished more than those who are novice. So tat karma pravartanat means, I understand the principle and purpose behind a vow, and I will consistently follow that vow. So tat karma pravartanat's one component is consistency. I consistently do. Once in a while, missing is fine. Number 2, in fulfilling the consistency, I don't forget the purpose underlying them, rather than focusing on the act. I will give importance to the purpose. Srila Prabhupada was in a temple. So it was early days in ISKCON where everything was in full spirit. Everybody used to chant 64 rounds. Every Ekadashi, everybody used to keep Nirjala. So that's the standard that was. And for all those devotees who are from Western body, it was such a huge Hanuman leap, Jesa. So such a huge jump. So it was kind of a big austerity for them. So one day, Srila Prabhupada was in one temple, and that was an Ekadashi day. So on an Ekadashi day, Srila Prabhupada came, was moving around, was walking around the temple. He saw different devotees caught hold of different corners of the temple. They were just lying down like a, in Tamil they say surundu padutundrukaanga. They'll just lie down in some corner. Oh my God, no energy left, don't know what to do, and they have, what are they doing? They're observing Ekadashi Vrata. Prabhupada said, oh my God, this is not why we are performing Ekadashi Vrata. Ekadashi Vrata is, we are supposed to glorify more, read more, chant more, serve more by controlling certain urges. Yahan to sab log, everybody is in one corner of the temple. And not only one corner. If you go and tell them one statement, they will howl at you. Prabhuji, you don't know that I am fasting? Huh? Why are you bothering me? I very, very clearly remember this. One of my earlier days in Krishna consciousness, how funny it was. Myself and two of our close friends, we were observing Nirjala Ekadashi. And incidentally, at the time, I think it was during my engineering days, first year engineering or something like that, 1995 or something like that. Nirjala Ekadashi day. So evening till evening, we managed to, quote unquote fast. No thinking of Krishna, thinking of what would be next days. How can I break next day's prata? Will I eat ice cream? What all I will miss and go and eat? So whole day of Nirjala Ekadashi day was planning of next day. How will I break the fast? So that day I had so much fatigue, so much things. So I was feeling so hot and so restless. So I had filled my entire living room with water, turned on the fan, put the chair in the middle so that I can get cool breeze. Those days I never had the concept of ACs or whatever that is. So whole night I was trying to quench my so-called whatever. And incidentally, my friend in his house, he kept open the refrigerator and sat in front of it whole night, so that he can get cool breeze. This was our Nirjala Ekadashi Vrata. And one of our neighbors, they were performing Vaikuntha Ekadashi Vrata. Because in Vaikuntha Ekadashi in Srirangam is so glorious. According to Ekadashi Vrata, the principle is like this. You are not supposed to sleep on Dashami night. You are not supposed to sleep whole day of Ekadashi. You have to be awake whole night of Ekadashi. You are not supposed to sleep on the day of Dwadasi. So Dwadasi night only you can sleep. That's how the Vratas, one of the conditions are. And Vaikuntha Ekadashi is all the more special. Because that time I was not in ISKCON, I was in grade 4. So the auntie, because she doesn't have a son, she considers me like a son. So anything she calls me. So every year, 3 times, I've been doing this crime. One on Shivratri night, second on Vaikuntha Ekadashi night, third one more festival I don't remember. What I'm supposed to do is, those days we used to get VCR, cassette deck. So we used to hire a TV, VCR deck, whole night we watch movie. 3 movies we watch. What we did Vaikuntha Ekadashi Raat Bhar Jaga. We were awake whole night and did our Vaikuntha Ekadashi Vrata. And all that crime I have done. Because I used to go and arrange the TV, VCR. I am a technician. 4th standard boy, I had got all the attention. So this is rascaldom. This is what we are supposed. Prabhupada saved us from. So if we miss the purity of purpose, What is the underlying purpose, the mood behind the vows? Even though you are consistent, this is not what going to contribute to our devotional growth. We may get some punya, we may get some sukriti, because definitely Krishna wants to give some reward. You may get some something. If you go and knock the door of some multi-millionaire, you may not get $1 million check. He will give you some 101 rupees and send you out. Chanda deke beg dengi. But 101 rupees is not what we are supposed to get from a multi-millionaire. We are damn supposed to get $1 million at least for your seva. So my second principle is, in terms of Tattat Karma Pravartana, please understand the purpose behind these vows. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says, if you are worshipping a deity, this is about deity worship standard. If we are not able to properly take care of the deities, in a sense, there are days where family members are out of station. You are alone in the house, and if the person is in female body, and they have their monthly cycles according to the deity worship standards, we need some cleanliness standard to worship the deities. Typically, in those days, they are not supposed to worship those deities. Touch those deities, cook for the deities. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said the purpose behind such vows is to ensure deities are not hungry. If you can't give the deities to somebody else to take care, there is no option. Focus is deities are taken care over procedure. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says you can take head bath and still take care of your deities. I mean, there are the principles. If they are missed, then what is the value? In our school days, English non-detailed stories. There's one story I have studied. The family was celebrating Mother's Day. So, concept of Mother's Day, unfortunately, I've never understood. Anyway, so this was the story. So let's stick on to the story. It was in America, so all the family members, they planned for Mother's Day celebration 6 months, ahead. Sort of all, because it's a long weekend. So as soon as in America, as soon as you are 15 plus, you are already an alien. Oh my God, you're living with your parents. Oh my God, it's too much. So you have to be thrown out of the house. Bikari batte jana. Anyway, that's a separate point. So all these different, people, they all joined from different parts of the countries because they were celebrating Mother's Day. The plan was, along with all the family members, they will go out for a picnic. That was the plan because it was a long weekend. So the previous day, Friday, everybody did all the cooking preparations, all the things. Saturday morning, the vehicle came. So somehow, whoever had been the organizer, he had a little miscalculation. The number of seats to be occupied in the bus vis-a-vis the number of family members, there was one difference. So out of 15 members, the bus has got only 14 seats. And in US, officially you can't. मैं footboard मारता हूँ bro, ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता. You need to have 14 means only the 14 capacity can travel. क्योंकि मैं नीचे बैठूंगा ऊपर बैठूंगा नहीं चलेगा. So all of them, they were looking at each other. Oh my God, who will stay back? All 15 people are there. Only 14 seats is allowed. So everybody is seeing each other's face. Within 15 minutes, the problem was resolved. And they all set out for a wonderful celebrating Mother's Day picnic, leaving mother back at home. Because mother chose, I will stay back, you all go. And Besharam, everybody went to celebrate Mother's Day, leaving mothers back at home. This is what is the fate of religiosity and quote unquote spirituality if we don't understand the purpose behind it. So, consistency. Second is purpose. Third, Tattat Karma Pravartana is also meant as a component of preaching. Because we don't follow vows for some self-credit. We follow the vows so that we establish a lifestyle so that everybody in the family, everybody in the society, they all try to participate. That is why we celebrate festival together. Because when we are celebrating festival together, it is an opportunity to encourage, oh, you guys can actually fast and still have a feast. You guys are saying Ekadashi is a day of fasting, but look at your plate. It's much more than what I could even imagine of my own. So we are even trying to educate. Our fasting is from certain components, which according to that particular vrata, it is considered this objectionable thing. We are not supposed to consume grain. We are not supposed to consume certain things on a particular day. Otherwise, we are good. So we are not here for some dry vow to torture us. It's not a torture agenda. It's an agenda for regulation. So what happens is that this is a component of preaching. When we observe a vow, why only Ekadashi? Whether it is getting up early in the morning, taking cold water bath, trying to wear spiritual, attire, trying to consume, food only with that which is offered to the Supreme Lord. They are all vows. But we only classify Ekadashi as vrata. No, honoring prasadam is also a vow. Getting up early in the morning is also a vow. Chanting 16 rounds is also a vow. Following 4 regulative principles is also a vow. But the way it has been positioned is it is part of our lifestyle, which means it is part of what I am supposed to practice to preach. What I am supposed to practice to preach. So Tat Karma Pravartana, the reason I am saying it is supposed to be preached is especially within a family setup. You need to ensure that your vow should not be portrayed as something which your family members would hate to support. They should feel encouraged to be participative so that they also can eventually participate. Several times, because of over enthusiasm, because of various other external hypocritical quotient, we try to give so much insistence. Hey, this is Nirjala Ekadashi. How come you could think of certain things and you make other person so guilty? Bicharo banda. Maybe he will sneak out to find, oh my God, I'll not stay in front of my dad. He will, snub me off every day. So the point is, we need to make sure that our practices is done in the mood of appreciation and encouragement so that the other person also does it. That is how a spiritual vow is also done. So tapasya is also done incrementally. Rupa Goswami's explanation of pure devotional service is starting from sadhana. By the sadhana means I am naturally not inclined, but I am inclined. I am motivated. What does motivational means? I does it in a manner so that other person gets inspired to do. But if I do in a manner where other person is not inspired to do, how will we be able to even practice? Yesterday we were speaking to some devotees. The statistics we were discussing. 50% of devotee parents' children does not want to become devotees because of the double standard the parents set to the children. So it is important that when we practice a tapasya, vow or any practices, you apply them with a purpose which others, that is why Prabhupada said that this is for everyone and everyone can take according to their Shraddha. Oh, I do Nirjala 24 hours a day, so do you do, so do others. So it's not something to be stuffed upon someone. You incrementally, proportionally try to do it. So my third things of Tat Karma Pravartana is, I will bow down, surrender, follow, proportionate to my Shraddha. So long as I am in a progressive path, I am supposed to be facilitated. Krishna expects like that. The fourth component of Tat Karma Pravartana is we never introduce a dynamics or a component which our acharyas never introduced. The reason is Srila Prabhupada has set up certain systems, certain way of following some vows. If you go back to Padma Puran or Rig Veda, probably there may be 20 more components that should be done on such a day. I'll give an example of Chaturmasya Vrata. If you see Padma Puran description of Chaturmasya Vrata, there are several components that are there, part of Chaturmasya Vrata. But Srila Prabhupada has not encouraged some of them as a general practice. But if some extra enthusiast go and read them and bring it and say that, according to Veda Vyas in Rig Veda chapter 4, verse number 344, so and so is mentioned, then it is not so much encouraged. I am mentioning in one of the earlier sessions, it is a bona fide medicine, but not recommended medicine. So we always go by what is recommended and bona fide, not just bona fide. Another typical example is Srila Prabhupada's comment on Mirabai and Jayadeva Goswami. Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govinda is a bona fide literature, but not a recommended one by Srila Prabhupada. Mirabai is a glorious devotee, but Srila Prabhupada was very particular in not recommending her because of the esoteric nature of that subject matter. Ji haan, under some special extraordinary arrangements, if you are able to manage to maintain your purity of purpose, then it's different. Otherwise, be wary of it. So my fourth point is Tatat Karma Pravartana being consistent, Tatat Karma Pravartana being done with the purity of purpose, Tatat Karma Pravartana being done with the purpose of making sure this is practiced by others, so you work it as a preaching. It is also to be done within the boundary of Acharya's recommendation, even though there may be things which are bona fide but not recommended. Because Prabhupada has set up a preaching movement, which means you are trying to create a lifestyle. So better we follow the lifestyle as recommended, because the recommendation is considering what is relevant and relatable to the current context. This is my second reflection. The third and the last reflection is about any time when we are talking about tapasya. The tapasya is, as we just discussed, is meant to purify, glorify, and eventually reach and please the Supreme Lord. It is explained. We had just finished a Bhagavatam class before this. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto and 40. This is the prayers by Prachetas to Lord Vishnu. After Prachetas performed their meditation, Krishna appeared, and this is a conversation that they are having with Krishna. And this particular prayer, they are saying that, my dear Supreme Lord, or my dear, we have studied Vedas, we have surrendered to the spiritual master, we have actually worshipped Brahmanas, self-realized souls, we have actually performed the penances, we have regulated the food intake. So you read the 430, 39, 40. And after listing all the points, they are saying, all these spiritual assets, we wanted to offer it for your pleasure and for your benediction only. So Prabhupada gives a fantastic purport. He gives what is the lifestyle of an Aryan. So we were discussing several points. One of the points that we were discussing is that in the process of, because Srimad Bhagavatam talks about 10 subject matters. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam mutaya manvantare ishanugata nirodho muktirashraya. Of these 10 subject matters, the superlative important part of the subject matter is ashraya. Ashraya means shelter in the lotus, under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. If I know all the other 9 subject matters, if I don't take ashraya, then it is only half baked or not even, half baked. It's just they have not even scratched the surface of the reality. But if you understood the ashraya part of it, and all the other 9 subject matters you have only understood partially, we are almost, reached the spiritual abode. Because the purpose of all those 9 is for the ashraya. That is why the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is exclusively dealing about, the core Krishna Leela. And in several places, Narada Muni also glorifies, Bhagavatam glorifies. So, ashraya aspect of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Prabhupada writes, the very first paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes, wherein he says that the subject matter, the science of Krishna consciousness, Vedescha sarve ragameva vedyo vedartha kritveda vityeva chaham. So, the principle of studying Vedic literature is to understand Krishna, and when somebody understands Krishna, they will surrender unto him. That's what Prabhupada says. And our reflection in that context was, which is my third reflection, and the final one to this context, is tapasya. When we perform tapasya, the tapasya should definitely be directed towards, offered towards pleasure of the Supreme Lord, as a service to the Supreme Lord, as an arrangement where I am able to serve the Supreme Lord. I'll tell you why. Prabhupada says we should understand Krishna. Prabhupada also says the more you try to understand Krishna, the more you come to a conclusion that it is difficult to understand him. And the more you find it difficult to understand him, you tend to learn that better is to surrender unto him. Surrendering unto him means serve him. In reaching Queen Kunti in one place, Srila Prabhupada says, because how much ever we try, we can't understand him. Unless the self-realized soul, a pure Vaishnava, helps us and reveal Krishna to us. So Krishna's, understanding Krishna is Krishna's prerogative, and a Vaishnava who has got Krishna in his heart is prerogative. So to our context, understanding Krishna means to serve the Lord. That is why Prabhupada's explanation of devotion is devotional service. It is just not devotion, it is a service. So if tapasya is done not as a service, a tapasya is done whilst tapasya services are not done, then such a tapasya is to be considered not in the mode of devotion, they may be the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So tapasya in the mode of ignorance, tapasya in the mode of passion, tapasya in the mode of goodness, all the three need to go above that, and eventually we do tapasya for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Having said that, the Prabhupada says, knowledge and renunciation can take us up till a point in time in our devotion. After that point in time, we need to understand our sincerity and sentiments in Krishna consciousness matters the most. So if your tapasya harms your devotional sentiment, then we need to go back and revisit if I have understood and practicing the tapasya properly. The converse is, the tapasya, we have to do such a tapasya by which we will be able to stay on in our Krishna consciousness. Vrindavan Vasi's tapasya was what? Knowing that every day a danger is coming because Krishna was present. somebody is constantly targeting Krishna. They stayed in Vrindavan because they are okay to take every other torture if I am with Krishna, rather than going outside of Vrindavan and being free from such a demoniac attack and not being with Krishna. This is exactly the perspective Kunti Maharani is bringing. I am okay to have challenges in life so long as Krishna is going to be with me, rather than I am going to be challenge free without Krishna. So we were discussing how for those who are not understood Krishna, for them to love Krishna, to serve Krishna, to perform tapasya is a challenge. They see Krishna as a challenge, whereas Vaishnavas see challenges as Krishna sent. So my third reflection hence is the tapasya, the vows that we are, any vows for that matter, we are going to practice and follow should be within the purview, boundary to an extent that it is for offering services to Krishna, glorify Krishna, and eventually it is, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramataha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriyaha, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapaha, Vasudeva Paro Dharmo, Vasudeva Paradati. Srimad Bhagavatam clearly says. So the ultimate purpose of tapasya is to please Vasudeva. If Vasudeva is not pleased, so we have to check this part out. That's the third point. So my tapasya is directed towards, my Ekadashi Vrata is directed towards pleasing the Supreme Lord and eventually to perform services to the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada, on that day, that story where I was telling, where all the Vaishnavas were, starving and they were completely, tired. Srila Prabhupada immediately ordered everyone. That's the time Srila Prabhupada said, on an Ekadashi day, you better avoid eating grain and have non-grain food. Be healthy, be strong, go out and preach and distribute holy name and perform devotional service, rather than just not eat anything and starve and stay in some corner. This tapasya conversation is multifolded. I just discussed one dimension of it. As you go deeper and deeper in Krishna consciousness, we are supposed to voluntarily accept certain tapasyas, especially from brahmachari to grahastha, grahastha to vanaprastha, vanaprastha to sannyasi. Sannyasi may in different classifications of sannyasi. We need to learn to withdraw things slowly. But that is done with keeping this framework that we just discussed in principle, non-niyamagraha with tattat karma pravartana for the pleasure and service of the Supreme Lord. So with that context, Nirjala Ekadashi is to be understood. The story of Nirjala Ekadashi is where Bhima was given a privilege, where Bhima wanted to have a result of all the Ekadashi Vratas, because he had his unique situation of having a very strong appetite. So he somehow, to cut the long story short, you can eventually peacefully read the story in detail. But he wanted to, get the same results, and he was given a privilege to, fast on this particular Ekadashi. So Nirjala Ekadashi is a day. Technically speaking, technical explanation is it's a vrata, it's a vow. If for some reason somebody has broken the Ekadashis in the entire year, if they observe Nirjala on that particular day, which is voluntarily putting ourselves into some discomfort for the pleasure of the Lord, for purification, for controlling our urges, for all these principles, then they are given the privilege of observing all the Ekadashi Vratas. We are not Niyamagrahis, so we don't encourage Nirjala Ekadashi from a perspective that you keep Nirjala, you get Krishna Prem. It's a true statement, but there are several statements in between lines that we need to follow. So in our understanding, Nirjala Ekadashi, in my understanding, is it's a day where we are supposed to be self-introspective, increase our Shraddha towards the Supreme Lord, and it's a day where we reassure our spiritual master and the spiritual authority that I am ready to be corrected, and for that I am ready to go through the purification. And we observe proportionate to how much we surrender. So we are not artificially observing Nirjala Ekadashi. We are not trying to torture ourselves. We are not trying to, self-impose something that we can't handle and eventually have some abusive mentality towards Vaishnavas and devotees. We need to be very careful. So at the end of the day, we are encouraged that we need to practice this Nirjala Ekadashi, which is coming Monday. So if we have this perspective and if we have a service mentality, then Krishna gives the necessary strength for us to perform this vow, as we always have experienced on Janmashtami Day, Gaura Purnima Day, and several days, where when we practice these fastings whilst being engaged in the service, we are not feeling about the fatigueness or difficulty. When we just not try to practice services and just stay at home, just thinking about the vrata, that's when we get too much drawn into it. So let's program ourselves, if we have not done so far, to see to that we are growing more and more towards serving the Supreme Lord for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord as a consistent practitioner, for definitely understanding the purpose behind such vows. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bhakti Janani. If we do with this purpose, then these vows can give birth to more and more devotional sentiments. Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani Chatane Palana Kari. So if with proper sentiments, with proper spiritual understanding, we practice this vrata, which Bhima got the privilege, just because of his particular request, we are also, getting the privilege of, if you are able to observe that vrata with proper right mood, then all the credit. It is just not punya credit. It is about bhakti janani. In our heart, bhakti manifest. So I will end here with this note. We definitely, have not exhaustively analyzed tapasya, but I just thought I'll give a perspective to this that I have understood in my life. I'm sure there are other intelligent, qualified speakers can add to this and may have already discussed in the past. So thank you so much for engaging in this service. So if there are any questions or comments, I'll be happy to respond. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So we have a question from how can we understand the mercy we receive from Krishna is actually good for us? Mostly it is like live operation without anesthesia. This is maybe to Haridas Varya and Vaishnavi Haripriya is making sure that their neighbor is in same state. So I'll try to answer and you can validate this for me. Very interesting question. It is said that whether Krishna and his devotees, whatever form of mercy that comes from them, whether it is anger, punishment, reward, award, austerity, they are meant for our purification in general. The question is, we understand this, but what challenges us is when they are a live operation, when it is some of the anarthas or some of the quotients that they are working on, when they are removed, like for example, some very beloved, most attached things are taken away from us in the name of making us more closer to Krishna. So it is very painful. Pankajangiri Prabhu leaving us, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Jagannath Prabhu leaving us. It's all very interesting episode that happened. The reason I'm using this word interesting is because the departure is glorious. The impact on us is, very painful, whilst it is purifying. So I'll tell you three, response to this particular question. Number one, my understanding is, the way we should understand is, Krishna consciousness is a process which brings in certain portion of pain with a significant portion of pleasure. It is like a pregnant lady. A person who wants to beget a child knows for sure that pregnancy is a kind of rebirth, but still they go for that begetting a child. So if you go and declare to the whole world, "Arey, you come to Krishna consciousness, all your so-called material enjoyment will be finished. Probably you'll get put through a lot of purificatory processes." Nobody will come. So we generally don't state it, but the reality is that. But the reality is that can still be stated, like how everybody know the reality is pregnancy means I have to go through certain, certain purification, certain like pregnancy. There are a lot of pain, lot of discomfort, lot of things. The reason we still go through that is because at the end we are getting a beautiful, wonderful result. So we understand that this live operation is needed. So if we keep this perspective, we will not be shocked. We will not be super surprised with the pain that is coming. Because the moment the lady knows she is pregnant, she has to anticipate. She may get ulti, she may get vomiting, she may get nausea, she may get this, she may not. How come, Prabhuji, I got pregnant? How come I got sick? I'm not supposed to be sick. No, you will be sick. That is how you have to go through. This is a fact of life. So this is how we understand. And in fact, the statement here is, if you don't fall sick, if you don't vomit, if you don't have nausea, if you don't have any symptoms, if you don't have any pain, because as a normal any other person, you go and check the doctor, is everything okay with me? Second, that understanding that Prabhupada gives, claws of cat catching hold of kitten, or the jaws of the cat catching hold of kitten and catching hold of rat are two different effects. Same jaws which is holding the rat, which the rat will be every moment of the time the rat is going to spend. The rat will be thinking that, my God, I'm going to, anytime death may come. But the kitten will be enjoying what a causing place. So if we understand underlying, it is impossible for Krishna to give pain to us. It is impossible, next to impossible. If we have surrendered to Krishna, if we have, it is like I always say this, you have chanted sincerely, or at least attempted to chant sincerely. You attempted to love Krishna sincerely. You attempted to practice devotion sincerely. In spite of that, you are given such a live operation. Please note, Krishna would have seen some sort of a stone within your body, because of it such operation had to be done immediately. Otherwise, it would have been much more catastrophic. So the point is, it is impossible for Krishna to be rude or to be inimical towards us. Impossible. Hence, those devotees who, in spite of taking all these spiritual practices, if they are going through some challenges, we have no choice but to go through that and some intelligent souls will actually enjoy that process also. That is why sometimes we don't make devotees to see, Arey, you don't feel pain, you don't feel angry, you are not upset on the Supreme Lord. No, because they know that Krishna, in spite of all my endeavor to glorify, serve, and please him, if Krishna is giving this to me, that's exactly what he wanted me to go through. I'm sure at the end, the result is glorious. The third and most important thing is that whilst Krishna is giving such a live operation, and Krishna is performing such a live operation, Krishna is making sure he's sending his beloveds around us so that hum tuk na jaye. It is like we are going to be going through some very important episode in life, and around us, some of our beloved members are there. Don't worry, nothing will happen to you. So Krishna, whilst he's giving his challenges or whatever so-called live operation, is making sure is giving necessary support system. So for us Vaishnavas, on whom we can lean on, the care, soothing, allowing to them, with them behind us, we are able to go through this experience because they will share their experience. I very clearly remember this. This was in the year 2005, when His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was leaving his body. So I was in New York Rath Yatra. So suddenly one hand, fell on my shoulder. That was His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. He said, "Hey, Ram Giridhari, what are you doing here?" I was in Maharaj, then I immediately offered obeisances. So we had some exchanges. Then Maharaj said, I am just coming from Gita Nagari or whatever that Sharanagati or wherever Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was there, whichever form maybe wrongly put it. So, and it was almost the fag end of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's life. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj told, I will not meet anyone, and he practically withdrew himself. But he had His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj by his side. Based on whatever some of his disciples and followers here say, the conversation between Radhanath Maharaj and Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj till the last moment, what they were doing was they were trying to go through the painful, because Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was going acute pain because of this cancer. But Radhanath Maharaj was taking him through a completely different journey. And the journey was trying to go within, take you into the samadhi, going slowly, so that I can withdraw all the attachments and eventually completely become oblivious of the surroundings and go focus deeper into Krishna Katha. Because I was told that since morning till evening, only one thing was happening. Japa, Leela, Katha, Sravan, itna hi hai. And that service Radhanath Maharaj did that for Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. To an extent, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj was denied an audience with Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. With a very humble note, all the disciples and Maharaj pleaded, please understand that this is the kind of mood that I am getting into. And Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj told me with very, very nicely explained this to me, saying that Maharaj wanted to go more within. And so, such a live operation to such a great personalities, Krishna provides support system to handle and to have right mood to experience them. And that is assured. So it is not just Krishna does live operation without anesthesia, which is apparently painful, but Krishna gives somebody to make sure that they are taking care of us so that we don't break away with such a pain that caused by that operation. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's episode and several, Vasudeva, the leopard from South India, who had leprosy. There is a chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita about him. There is another chapter where Sanatana Goswami had skin disease. He is talking to Jagadananda Pandit. Sanatana Goswami is telling Jagadananda Pandit, I want to suicide, I want to kill myself. Jagadananda just go to Vrindavan and just, So just get away and go to Vrindavan and do something. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is scolding him. How dare you could say this is Sanatana? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving a tight hug and skin diseases. And skin disease is, purified. So anyway, so to cut the long story short, eventually, every time when the challenges are given, whilst the challenges may be painful, but Krishna equally provides some support system. If you don't see one, please search out. Probably you're missing something. Krishna 100% sends support system along with the live operation. That's my understanding. Does that make some sense? I guess I've gone overboard respect my time as. Thank you so much. In case there are any questions, I'm still ready to answer. Otherwise,
one more question,
talk
Prabhuji.
tomorrow.
Thank you so much,
Right.
Prabhuji. We are so fortunate to hear from you again. Prabhuji, I just want to request you to tell us now, since we are not having any physical association or any physical sevas in the temple or anything. So how we can do a Nirjal Ekadasi at home?
Very relevant and interesting question. That how can I keep myself engaged in the service so that I don't feel like I'm just doing a quote unquote vrata. Prabhu, whilst we have not got temples and things like that, I tell you how the devotees in Mumbai, in some congregation, they have done. There are several examples I can give you. One group that I know in western suburbs, there is a devotee, I forgot his name. Yeah, his name is Anand, whatever, some Prabhu's name. Every Nirjala Ekadashi, they all gather in their house and they chant 192 rounds on the day. So they start the morning 4 a.m. and go until 9, 10. So they are collectively, they're like 10, 20, 15 devotees, they're together, they are there and they keep doing that. That's how they celebrate. The more they chant, probably will I not feel like drinking water? Probably, since they have been doing it for several years, the devotee who have been doing this told me that the experience is so purifying that because there are other devotees, other members who are collectively part of such a gathering, so it is much more complementing each other. Second, I knew is that where instead of staying alone in the house, if devotees together come, probably some kirtan, some abhishek, some Krishna katha, some chanting, maybe some some sort of unless and otherwise you are engaged in a very active spirit to keep your mind busy. So you will have some sort of thinking that I'm supposed to be eating. So maybe Sankirtan, Samyak Kirtan coming together helps. And one other interesting perspective in coming together is it's not only it makes us forget or I am conscious of doing a vrata, because you are so engrossed in some things, you will be easily able to handle such a wow. So in a non-temple, non-spiritual place atmosphere, these are all some ways by which at least instead of staying alone and managing this, you can stay together, group of 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 devotees. Together we can, kind of speak about it, share our realization, open our heart out. Because these are the time where we can do sometimes self-introspective conversations. How did I come to Krishna consciousness? What inspired me in Krishna consciousness? What makes my Krishna consciousness much more inspiring? So other, oh my God, I never knew this. I never knew this side of a devotee. I never knew this aspect of a person. So sometimes such conversations, soul searching, not just suppose on the Nirjala Ekadashi day, if you talk about Atma Ramasya Munayo, 64 explanations of Atma Ramasya Munayo verse, probably everybody will sleep. I mean, if somebody is non-technically interested, if you're not so keen in Siddhanta, probably you may lose our interest. So we need to make sure that which connects us more closer to Krishna consciousness, more deeper in Krishna consciousness, we speak about such subject matters so that we are able to overcome the effect of fatigueness. That's something that I could think of. be, there may be other techniques that somebody would be doing it. I have no idea. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Does this make
Prabhu.
some
It was
sense,
very nice. Actually, now because of Corona, we are not able to get into groups, no, Prabhu. That is the purpose I'm asking
That's
you.
a challenge. Yeah, we are not able to.
That's the challenge.
In person.
Very big challenge. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Is there anybody who wants to ask any questions? Please.
Hello, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Prabhuji. I have a question.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Since
We are not able to hear.
now you can hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the doctor has advised not to do any prata because of health condition. So it's a guilt for them. Like, I have been doing it since so many years. Now, because my health is not giving me support, like I can't do it. So that pinch will be there always, Prabhuji. So even we feel, oh yeah, health is also it's a factor. And if we go against that, again, we should not be a burden to a family. And it should not trouble our other sadhanas also. Whatever we are doing, we should not lose it. But that pinch, that guilt, they are facing, that I just felt, I just have to ask. That's why just ask you, Prabhuji.
I'll tell you my perspective to this. I'll tell you two episodes. One is Raghunath Das Goswami. Second is Haridas Thakur. Both of them express exactly the same words, almost similar to those words, about the feeling of guilt. Actually, in devotional life, the feeling of guilt is very good. So, in a sense, Haridas Thakur told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my dear Mahaprabhu, the biggest challenge for me is I have a fear that any one of the days I may not be able to complete my prescribed number of chanting rounds. So that is a guilt that I am living, because Haridas Thakur at the time was extremely sick. And Mahaprabhu is telling that, bas karo, bahut ho gaya. Krishna is telling, don't chant anymore. I mean, you can pull your heel off. But Haridas Thakur says, no, I'm not able to. That is my disease. I will not be able to. My fear is that what if I not able to finish that? So that feeling of fear, guilt, whatever it is. Same, Haridas, Raghunath Das Goswami, when he was in front of Simhadwara and begging alms, Mahaprabhu appreciated it. Then when he started, so when he slowly increased his austerity, and every time when he increased his austerity, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated, because his austerity became more serious because he was guilty of the previous one. Oh, this is such an easy one. Maybe such a, whatever, adulterated one. He felt like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says such a guilt is very good. And third is, for sure, in any case, when a person is sick, in Shastra they say sick, old people, children, these three are always exempted from every such conditions. So in spite of that, somebody is trying to do it, they'll definitely be appreciated by the Supreme Lord. So if you are old, if you are sick, and if you're a pregnant lady or some young children, they are exempted from every vrata, and they're still given the results of the vrata because they are conscious about it. That feeling of guilt gives you more and more credit. So if there is a genuine endeavor to follow the vrata, but because health doesn't allow, since we need good health in this body, so long as we have this body, we need to make sure that it is engaged for Krishna's service. So it is absolutely understandable and clear that it's that guilt is good enough. That guilt need not go into a negative spiral. That guilt can be dovetailed for more positive engagement. If I'm not able to give Nirjala is not the goal. The purpose behind the goal. It is not Krishna's agenda to make you not drink water 24 hours. It is Krishna's agenda to make you think of him 24 hours by controlling your urges. So if you can manage to do it in some capacity, it's still appreciated. And That's why Krishna consciousness is a very tailor-made agenda. It is not a cookie cutter. I am not supposed to imitate what Rajeshwara Prabhu is doing, what Vaishnavi Haripriya is doing, what Achyuta Prabhu is doing. If I imitate, then I will definitely fall down. I am supposed to only practice. That is why we better learn the principles, apply it in our context. Krishna is going to reciprocate to your context, not to universal context. So Krishna has got a personalized treatment with each and every one of us. So your situation, your guilt, your heart, your genuinity, Krishna will appreciate. That makes sense, Mataji?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Correct.
that's it.
Anybody else, please? Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. One time of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu for giving us a wonderful class and for his advancement. We'll pray for his advancement in Krishna consciousness. Okay. One time of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Please unmute yourself and then pray.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
His
Thank you
grace,
so much.
Ram Girdhari Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
So, yes, we will say Vaishnava mantra and then we will leave. Vancha kalpataru
Ancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo
namo namo.
namo namo.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Gurudev ki jai. His grace Shyam Sundar Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhupada. Thank you very much for all the devotees who have attended this. Please join us tomorrow at 4:30. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare.